Yo, what up, everybody? I'm Jay the Kid. That's Broke Boy Bray.
Yo, yo.
We also got my boy joining us today. We got my man Vaughn the Don. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is another episode of Four Rows Full Podcast. Now, this week, I don't really, I don't really got too much to say, but I'm gonna just start off by saying we appreciate the engagement that y'all been giving us on social media so far. It's definitely been giving us a lot more to talk about and discuss with the game, just to see exactly what we can do. So, one of the things I did see in the comment section that I did want to talk about is this comment that somebody left us. Triple H does not book tag teams correctly, and he sure as hell doesn't does anything with factions. So I feel if we push the narrative that numbers and alliances matter, I'm with it. I ain't saying run a year long factions and clubs, but 3 months of groups coming together for something bigger. I think low key that's something that I don't think I'm too wrong for saying. Do y'all think I'm
hmm
tweaking or like what y'all feel about
Nah, because, like, the thing is, and I get what this guy was comedian, it's like Triple H, what he does is, like, let's take The Vision, for example. The Vision started off with a lot of promise, coming off WrestleMania 40, having, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed at the forefront of the group. They were very menacing. Then Seth got injured. The real injury, not him getting fake injured. They kicked him out the group, and now they're kind of just lost without purpose, especially with Braun Breaker unfortunately having that hernia surgery last week and him being out possibly even past WrestleMania. I feel like this is just going to kind of become one of those, like, I don't want to say like Judgment Day type groups, but like Judgment Day in the type of they're just there to be there rather than actually like a faction that has a point at this point. Because the Judgment Day has kind of lost like the meaning of it and what it initially started off as, which is why I've been proclaiming it's time for the faction to die, which hopefully we see at WrestleMania 41 this year. 42, my fault. 42 this year, but who fucking knows? So I get what he means. It's like the MTF and the Wyatt Six usually have all these huge factions that really don't do anything other than kind of feud with each other for like months on months with no like payoff or conclusion.
Vaughn, what you feel about that before I give my opinion?
I mean, with wrestling, with WWE, it's always been something wrong with the booking because it's like you got it with the singles, the tag team, and the faction. And like, I agree to a certain extent what he's saying, but also it's like the tag team, like okay, with Judgment Day, what Judgment Day would been around for 20, what like
40, it'll be
2022, 23.
4 years if we make it to Mania this year. It'll be 4.
So it's like people are tired of the Judgment Day. So it's like if you bring something new and fresh and new wrestlers, like people we don't see, then it could get a better interest. Like more people will be more interested in booking them and seeing their story. We're going back to the YS6. I see what Bo is doing, but it's just not the same without Bray.
I feel y'all on that. And I had to
I
think
mean,
about it
like
again
you
for a
got the
second.
YS, but
And
it's like, yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I low key think that if we put a situation up to where wrestlers gotta fight for something for just a few months and that numbers really matter, I don't care what it is. If y'all do a like faction tournament or some shit like that, and the winning team get a spot at War Games, those top two teams fight it out in War Games based off. I don't know if what you want to do. You want to do points. You want to do wins. You want to do championships. Whatever the fuck you want to do. But if you have a faction that's either holding the most momentum, the most championships, and the most accolades and everything, if you set up a tournament and then the final two teams meet up at war games and everything, that seems something likely I'm more getting into, and not just these random ass factions going up against these random ass groups of people who they beat up or fucked over or some shit like that, or came together to beat this group of niggas.
And like I said, like, and it's not necessarily the fact that we have a bunch of factions. It's also the fact that they're feuding with the same groups for months on end, and that's why, like I was saying, like you don't see any payoff to it. We're seeing the same shit happen over and over again with just different outcomes. This team wins one time, this team wins the other time. It's like a ever never ending fucking tug of war. So like something like that would actually be very interesting. Like, right before we get to like November time or something, hey, we're gonna be running this war games like tournament where you and a bunch of other people are gonna be able to enter, whether you're tag teams or a faction, you're gonna compete in this tournament, and the top 5 from each division will go and meet in war games. That would be interesting, rather than okay, we got to just throw together a bunch of fucking top superstars for the war games because we haven't planted shit all year. That would be interesting. Yeah, you're not going to have those storylines, but you can start building storylines in the war games.
And even then, you don't even have to add,
Right.
I mean, you can add so many different people inside of here. Like Von, like you mentioned last episode with the R-Truth thing, if he brought his own faction, that's something that you can throw in for R-Truth and everything. R-Truth don't even have to make it that far, but showing that R-Truth was a leader that brought these young cats from NXT all the way to the top, that sounds like some shit that'd be fire to bring up on the main roster. And that shows what Truth can do outside of the ring too. If he can motivate them guys and everything, R-Truth should always have a spot somewhere in WWE. That's just to go off of the last episode. But you can add NXT guys in there.
Yeah, exactly. Look how many fucking factions NXT has.
You can fuck around and add goddamn TNA, because I know damn well y'all want to put the Hardy Boys on television anyways. We know y'all want to put them on main WWE TV, but you ain't trying to do it under a TNA contract. Y'all want that shit full time. Y'all gonna try to be greedy with it. Get the one match if y'all can, because what happened if they, I don't know, fuck around and really retire at TNA? Not WWE.
Which is what it seems like. I mean, didn't they just re-sign, or am I tweaking? I think they just re-signed.
Yeah, I thought they did, but yeah, shit, we'll post if it's true or not in this video because I'm gonna edit it.
Yeah, but I'm sure that they've even said multiple times like they want to end their career in TNA. They were like, yeah, it'd be cool to go back to WWE and do some shit over there. But like they were like, we want to help TNA. We want to finish off in TNA because we feel like this is where we kind of most fit in. Because like even Jeff Hardy, he did an interview a few years ago where he was talking about like his time in AEW. He was like, I kind of knew it was my time to go to TNA because he was like, I can't keep up with the likes of like Will Ospreay and stuff. Because I'm like, he understands that his time is paid. He can't keep up with what they're doing, and he knows that if he even tries, it's not going to work out. And I can respect that because he's at least being conscious enough to be like. I know I can't hang with these kids. Rather than be like, nah, I'm still that guy that I was 20 years ago. Let me try to hang out. Then we get a shitty match out of it. Like, I respect that. But, yeah, I 100% agree. They definitely do need some more structure when it comes to groups and doing group stuff. Because, like, I would say less for the tag team. I feel like the tag team is weird because I feel like sometimes he does a really good job booking the tag team and then he does a really shit job booking the tag team. Example, the Rio stuff and the stuff with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, I've really enjoyed. It's been really interesting, even though I don't really keep up with WWE like that. Then you got groups like, what the fuck is the, I can't think of their names right now. Yeah, Anthony Dawkins. Street Profits, what the fuck are they doing? What are the Street Profits doing? What is the Judgment Day doing tag team wise? Yeah, I know Finn's trying to go solo, but what the fuck does that leave JD to do?
Mess with the mid card scene, I guess. But this is how I would even put that at. Like, even like when setting up this little faction versus faction thing, I'd say do it in a group of 8. Now hear me out. Why 8 motherfuckers? 2 top male superstars. 2 top female superstars. 2 tag teams. That's it. That's all. I feel like if you set up the faction to where it's 2 male tag team, a male tag team, a female tag team, 2 top male stars, 2 top female stars. That way, therefore, you can always mix and match and move everybody in between each other. So therefore, it's always a fresh type of group that's coming out each time. You ain't gotta just sit here and I ain't gotta partner with him and everything like that, but then we come out to save y'all each time. No, we mix this shit around and everything. So therefore, it's a new matchup each week.
And it's like obviously everybody's still gonna know who the top guys are, obviously, of the group.
You sending it's like each week the faction sending a dog out to go attacking everything, and you gotta basically set eyes on this thing again. You not seeing it every Monday. You're not seeing this matchup versus this matchup every Monday and everything. You might get a storyline mixed in between that, but during this faction warfare month or era or whatever the fuck you want to call it should always be something fresh going out there in the ring each time. So it's like literally you picking the best dog out in your dog fight each time. And the ones who got the most pins, the most gold, most margin, the whatever, they should have opportunities at three things: Money in the Bank, Rumble, Elimination Chamber. Whichever moment you can just drop off each one of them people in one of those matches. They ain't gotta immediately win it, but literally they get dumped into those matches after faction month warfare ends off. So this literally every person from the faction gained from it. It wasn't just these two guys were like a part of the faction a lot and people cheer for them for war games. Therefore now we can just cheer for them. Oh yeah, they did have 4-5 other guys in there. Shit. We'll see y'all on main event because that's where they gonna go.
And I think that's my only downside to having like bigger factions like that. But like you're right, you would have to structure it like that. I'm trying to think of the other team, but there's teams in AEW that are like that. But like the one I can think of off the top of my head is Skyflight. They have a bunch. Like I think like 3 or 4 men, and they have like a woman on the team. But you never just see the same guys tag teaming, or when they do trios, like they have a very unique way of wrestling that it works for them having a bigger faction like that. So I agree with that. But sometimes, when you get the bigger factions, some people kind of do fall to the wayside and just don't get properly used. So it would have to be a situation where, yeah, they would have to properly build everybody in this faction. You can't just have it be, okay, we got our top stars and we got this top tag team and everybody else kind of is just jobbers. No, everybody would have to be on the top level. Everybody would have to be on a competing level. Yeah, they don't have to win every single match they do, but they should be getting showcased. And, they should have their team, motivating them. They lose, they're going to come down to the ring, pick them up like, hey, it's another day. We're going to get back in the gym, keep working. That's what I like about the Death Riders right now. I don't know if you saw what happened at Grand Slam Australia last weekend. But, they lost. Wheeler Yuta had to get his head shaved. He tried to run. John said, no, get back in the fucking ring.
Yeah, not.
He was like, it sucks. We agreed to the stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go through with this. Yeah, I don't want you to go get your head shaved either, but this is what we agreed to. You can't run from this.
I mean, it's weird. Like, Yuta was like, oh, man, I'm not, like, bro, I'm not cutting my hair off. Like, but nigga, you would damn near had the same fucking haircut when you was wrestling goddamn Bryan Danielson. Nigga.
No, what's funny is it's just gotten longer since.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm like, how the fuck are you seeing? You can't see shit with your hair, bro.
Exactly. It's like, bro, you already had to start from the ground up, nigga. Like, go ahead, cut that shit off. Hold on, yeah, I'll be right
back. But yeah, no, I 100% agree that.
Wow, what you think about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with both of y'all what y'all saying, because everything I was about to say, y'all been saying it. So now this is what I feel like. Do the recap from the last episode for R-Truth. All right, I said Nation of Domination, but we need something like a BMF in WWE. Not take out the drugs, but you know what Big Meech's motto was? Everybody shine like new money. Everybody is a boss. We need something like that. What you think?
No, I agree. There should be a faction like that. Yeah, there should be more factions like that where everybody is kind of treated like a top player. Like I said, you don't have to win every single fucking match you do, but even if you lose, they shouldn't be immediately like, oh, you suck and all this. It's like, nah, bro. We get back in the gym. We learn from our mistakes. We go back and we get better. There should be a group like that, but I just don't see him doing that anywhere in the future with stars, but we have a longitude of stars that he can easily do that with. If they really wanted to get on some straight bullshit, this is the way they can do it. R-Truth, he can be kind of chill on the wrestling. Take stars like Javon, Trick, Carmelo, sit them all down, but like, look, I know y'all niggas got y'all issues. Y'all's the next generation. Y'all have to lock in. Even if y'all don't like each other, that's fine. But y'all beefing with one another is not going to get y'all nowhere. Well, y'all can be elevating one another. And then go from there. Like I said, they don't need to, they don't need to be at a ringside each week, whatever. But, when they win a championship, they all come celebrate. Like, we all win.
It's a respect for one another.
Exactly. And like, at the end of the day, this is a competitive sport. There's not always going to be that. But we don't see enough of that in WWE. It's the problem.
Is all I'm saying is WWE, all WWE did with the bloodline and everything is say you can sell something by making everybody gain from some part of it. Solo could easily have went back down to NXT or been released at any moment if WWE
But Solo
felt like
proved
they weren't
that
getting nothing
even he took what he got from the bloodline stuff, he learned from all of them, and now look at him. I mean, Solo's fucking entertaining.
I'm just saying. I mean, of course, he's not world champion yet. Who knows when he'll be?
But Solo's still young.
Solo has had the ability to now made fans can't stand him. Y'all brought real heat on him when he screwed Cody Rhodes the first time. So therefore, he already got the heat part. He already showed us that he can make some people laugh. He can make you annoyed. He can talk shit back to you when you're out in the crowd.
He knows how to talk on the mic. That's a lot of wrestlers don't know how to do that. Convey a crowd, like you said, piss off a crowd. Solo know how to get a crowd. That MTF shit. Oh, you could tell Solo's having fun. He's really enjoying what he's doing because it's like I'm finally getting to showcase more than just I'm this enforcer. Yeah, I'm an enforcer, but I still have a personality.
Now that I think about it, when we talk about R-Truth was we can use R-Truth as a manager.
Yeah,
we could throw Titus O'Neil. He don't wrestle.
Titus don't do anything for the company. That would be actually a really good role for him.
Well, I mean, he do shit like
obviously he does shit like ambassador wise, but like within the company itself.
No, I feel like he definitely go out like he like on a recruiting type thing when he not doing those like contributions like going around and everything. I feel like low key he go out and like spot some talents that could get signed by WWE. I don't know if he would be one of those top name type of scouts and everything, but I feel like Titus O'Neil kind of got to look around to see exactly who the next big thing or who popping right now.
Think about it. You have Truth that could do the talking, and then if you bring Titus to the storyline, like I said, he could be the recruitment. Like, look, bro, you want to make this money? Everybody's bosses in this group. Ain't no one man above the next man. Everybody treated equal. You could do something like that.
True. I just don't want it to be claimed as something to where it's like it's trying to take over the bloodline. And that's not what I want it to do.
No, it's not going to be like that. No.
I want it to mainly reframe from the idea of wrestling is just a certain standpoint of what we got to deal with, to where it's like, oh, you're going to get some of the moments where the tag team division sucks. It's going to get some moments where, some of the women's wrestlers aren't the best in the world. It's going to be some moments where, one guy's going to hold the title for 2 years and then we're going to complain about it. And then after they lose the title and we give it to somebody else that we kind of like but don't really fuck with, after the 3rd or 4th month, we're going to be like, all right, so who's the next champion? Or, man, why the hell did we get a belt to this nigga if he was going to do this shit?
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of goes back to like what we were talking about in the cards is wrestling fans are very indecisive and don't know what they want because sometimes the bookers do listen to exactly what the fans want. WrestleMania 40 being the greatest example of that. They had a whole different storyline. You will never pay me to convince me that they were just pulling us the entire time. No, they were going to have Rock go to the main event.
Yeah, he was definitely
that was going to happen. It was so much fan outcry that they had no fucking choice because they knew they would get booed out the building if they did the other outcome.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like they do listen, and it's like sometimes wrestling fans are really happy with them listening, and then sometimes wrestling fans are like, "Oh, you did exactly what I wanted you to do." Well, that fucking sucks. And it's like, what the fuck do you guys expect? And like, I try to give Triple H some slack because I would imagine booking wrestling is not an easy thing, but it's also like he's shown us also what he can do with like the NXT era.
Right.
See,
And I think that's what the main issue is. So like when people like Logan Paul be like, "Oh, you can't criticize Triple H," it's like actually I feel like I fucking can because he's shown me he knows how to book really well.
Is strength in numbers, like I've always said. If you got a group like the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, NXT champion, Roderick Strong,
Kyle O'Reilly, tag champions. Bobby Fish, what was he? The North American champ?
I thought Bobby Strong. I mean, not Bobby. Roderick Strong was the North American champion.
He was, my fault.
And then
But
anyways,
either way, they had all the gold.
Exactly, nigga. That's what I'm saying. Strength.
They all supported each other.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah.
You see, it took them to. They had to bring in War Games to make a team full of guys to fight with each other together, so the Undisputed Era didn't fuck everybody else up on their way to the top yet again. If you set that shit up every goddamn 3 months out of the year, and each one of those guys get put into a certain moment to where it can elevate their career, why not do it? Some ain't gotta win. Some could just show that, hey, I can be in these spotlight moments too.
I can wrestle really good, but I can never win that shit. Like, and that's another thing why I'm kind of really annoyed with, like, I think modern day wrestling, and I think with modern day wrestling fans, everybody wants their favorite to be the main character, and that's just not how it's going to work. Not everybody is a main event character.
At all.
And some people just have to understand that. It sucks to say, I've got a lot of my favorite wrestlers. I know they weren't top talent. Does that mean I'm going to support them? Like, it sucks. It very much sucks.
Right.
Exactly.
But a lot of people I feel like nowadays have main character syndrome where they expect like, oh, I'm signed to this big company and I have a lot of like fans. I should be the world champion. And it's like, no, it's like you're good, but you also have to earn that. You can't just walk into there and expect them to fucking be like, oh, yeah, we saw what you did in the Indies. Here's a championship.
Low key.
Right.
No.
You can't get that.
No.
Not every nigga can. We seen some people take off and run with some shit. We seen some niggas fall and plummet.
We've seen some people who are literally like outside of WWE, some of the coldest wrestlers, and then go to WWE and they can't get over it because WWE's structured differently. And that's not saying that's a bad thing, but they're more catered to sports entertainment. They want you to be an entertaining person, and you can be a great wrestler all the fucking day.
Without question.
That does not guarantee you to be a top level talent
at all.
We've seen that multiple times with many stars.
Nothing is ever promised.
Nothing is promised.
So people tend to not understand that fully, but we'll talk about that here more.
The truth it sucks, but that's the hard reality, especially of a competitive sport like wrestling. You're gonna always have that person that's just slightly more hungry than you, slightly more motivated than you, slightly more willing to do a risk that you aren't willing to take to get that next step.
I mean, you might feel like you got that moment and you better than that person, but at the same time, that person also has the fan support, has the mic time, the mic work, the schedule, the stamina, the speed, everything that makes somebody look at you and go, damn, that's a top talent. If you ain't got that, sorry. I mean, shit, it is what it is. But I mean, don't think that just because you got a good move or two that make the fans go, ooh, that's what's gonna always bring you to the dance floor and stay there.
No.
Roman Reigns had all of that and then some and wore a vest, and niggas was like,
niggas still hated him. John Cena had all that and some more, and niggas still hated him.
It's not too many niggas that get love and do the same shit. I'm sorry.
It's very rare. It's very rare.
You got to switch some shit up. But Vaughn, what's your top 5 moments of the week in wrestling?
Right now, Javon, Going to Elimination Chamber.
That's big
That's
ups
really
to
my
him.
top
He
five.
deserves that shit.
Yeah, that's really my top five. That really would have excited me. Like, it's like,
Like when
man,
they
this
booked
young
that
man
card,
is
I was
like,
like, I feel like it should be Javon. I was like, it'll be cool to see Gunther in that bitch, but what is Gunther gonna gain from it? I was like, this is a great chance for Javon to show I can get down in different environments. Yeah, Javon could be bouncy as you want. We've seen high flyers go into the cage and get their ass cooked.
Beat the fuck up.
So I'm very excited
like
to
I
see
said,
what he's going to do because that's one thing I love about Javon is he's very experimental. He's willing to try some shit even if it doesn't work in his benefit.
Without question.
So I'm very excited for that.
mm-hmm.
That's definitely a
Mark
huge
my
move. I
words.
agree
I
with it.
say, mark my words. I say, give it about a year or two. He gonna be a WWE champion.
Without question. I feel like
And I
though
feel
it
Now,
like,
might
whether
take
they
a
break
little
that
minute.
youngest world champion, that's the bigger question. But he'll definitely have a championship without a doubt.
I don't know if they breaking that.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't. Randy, they little golden child. Randy, they little golden boy. They don't. I don't think they ever want to break that. But like, if they were to give it to anybody, fucking should be Javon.
Here's the thing though. I don't even think it's based off of Randy Orton being the youngest or Brock Lesnar being the youngest. I low key think that WWE feels like a younger champion putting all of that on them might low key kill them. Now I know what you thinking that could be the case.
No, I agree.
But that's not too always accurate because therefore
look at what Randy said about his first championship run being that young. He was like, Randy has gone on record and literally said that like he wishes they would have waited a bit to give him that title run because he was like, I was not mentally ready for that.
Exactly. So therefore, I'm not saying that Javon Evans could turn into that if you give him a world championship. But that boy, I'm sorry, he was out there on the indie. That he got it out the mud early. He know where he came from.
Right. We don't want to burn that light too fast.
You can't burn that light. That boy got the support. He got the fan base. He got the fan reaction. He got the social media connection. He got everything on lock. So you ain't got to really worry too much about him burning himself out being the champion. Social media basically bring your views up way, way more when you are the main attraction. When
honestly,
I can go online and type your name in and go find you. What was you saying about my bad?
Honestly, I feel like Mike was delayed, but I feel like Javon. I feel like he'll be more of an interesting black champ than Bobby Lashley was.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like that just kind of
And
comes down
honestly,
to just like Javon has so much more personality. That's not saying shit about Bobby. Bobby Lashley has a great character. I love his character. I love his character work. But if we're talking character to character, Javon's definitely the more interesting of the two.
Very true.
and
The only thing I don't disagree with you saying that though. The only thing about it, there's a big ass asterisk on that when you say it. And I'm not saying because you invalid, I'm not saying that ain't very accurate because low key, I agree with you 1,000%. But it's gonna be some people who are gonna say if you book Javon Evans and storylines better than what is going on in WWE, you get a way better market for wrestling. So therefore, the young black kids and everything in these neighborhoods that y'all be trying to push tickets in, they actually can pull up and more now. I can pull up and actually watch Javon Evans, a nigga that look just like me, go out there and go fuck it up on the mic. Go fuck it up in the ring. Do some shit to make me go in awe. I don't think that burns out Javon Evans. That motivates him to get better. I think it would do the same for Trick Williams. I think it'd do the same for Carmelo Hayes. I think
we know it'd do the same for Oba. We know that.
Without question.
We know that for Oba.
He had that already in NXT.
We obviously saw that with NXT, yeah. Hell, they literally did not make him drop that fucking title. He left that, but he had to he literally said, I'm leaving this bitch. When have we ever seen that fucking happen? Somebody resigning the title.
He said, there's nobody higher than me, and I'm going out on top. That's respect. But the only thing that sucks about it is it doesn't even need to be the case of over losing the belt. It's just the fact of now the next champion, which is Joe Hendry, now has to carry a very, very steep hill. He got to walk up that motherfucker to try to get on the same shit that Obafemi was.
And that's going to be extremely fucking hard.
Because Oba got to the top and said, bitch, I'm not leaving without a fight. And when he beat
lost,
everybody
I would say
up,
he lost that bitch once and instantly got that bitch right back.
like he spent the block, got his shit, came back to the motherfucking yard and still was the big dog. And then the nigga realized, you know what?
He said, why am I bullying these kids when I can go fuck it with the big dogs?
I'm finna go see what's up with this main roster shit. Let's get to it.
I didn't ran through everybody down here multiple times. Let me go see what these niggas talking about.
Whoever carries the throne now has to be better than me. And I don't think too many niggas are.
Nah. So it like kind of backing off of that, it'll be definitely interesting to see how this Joe Hendry gets booked, because I mean they kind of just instantly threw him into the feud with Ricky Saint, so it has potential to be interesting, but it'll be kind of curious to see what they do with his character kind of moving forward, because like you can tell like they definitely want to move Joe Hendry to the main roster, but it's kind of one of those Javon situations where it's like they don't want to move him too quickly, but he has so much momentum that they know if they wait too long and then move him to the main roster, all that steam's going to be gone.
And I feel you, but that's also dumb for putting him on WWE live television. Then why would y'all put him in WrestleMania? Why would y'all put him in
Rumble?
Why would y'all put him against goddamn
Randy?
No.
Oh, are you talking about somebody else?
Oh no, I forgot what other thing Joe Hendry was in this week. It's like anyway. This year Joe Hendry been on WWE main television screens instead of NXT for the longest fucking time. So therefore, you excited to have the nigga in WWE? It's like Julia and Stephanie literally was on the NXT roster for what, 6 months, 7 months, the latest,
something like that, yeah,
and was already NXT North American champion, NXT Women's champion. Both of them held the same shit, and then both was like, you know what? Let's go up to the main roster together. Fuck it.
Both got gold instantly.
Now, granted, some might say Julia should have been in the WWE Women's Championship picture. Possibly. Will she get there? Definitely.
I mean, that was a good showcase, and they gave her against Rhea on Friday. So, I mean, it definitely shows that, like, they do have her in high contention. They do see her as a top player.
And you ain't never seen a brute force like Rhea Ripley get
fucking stomped like that
by anyone fucking ever. So you already know, even though they might be cool backstage, I got to say some of that for some of y'all punk asses in the comments. Oh, they're really good friends, probably backstage. The
motherfuckers probably went backstage and was cackling at y'all reaction on social media. They was probably laughing like everybody thought that shit hurt us.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, you can't tell me like they don't specifically be like, let's do this spot just to piss people off on, like, because they know people are gonna get the fucking talking.
She's a jackass. She should never be in the wrestling ring again. Like,
this is a combat sport at the end of the fucking day. They're gonna do whatever it takes to get that win.
Plus, I done seen Rhea Ripley do some shit to some bitches' fingers at pause.
That high risk move seemed to be worth the risk.
Mm-hmm.
But
we've literally seen worse.
We've seen motherfuckers do some crazier shit. So therefore, that move alone, probably, I ain't gonna lie to you, not the craziest thing we never seen.
I want her to use it more. That's a fucking killer move.
You do that to a person outside of wrestling, you going to jail for attempted murder. But you do it in a wrestling ring to get an edge on your opponent.
Wrestling is just attempted murder, for being honest. Like, a lot of this shit they do in these companies, they would instantly go backstage and be arrested, if not get arrested in the ring.
It's attempted murder with a time limit. That's all it is.
That's literally all it is.
I mean, shit, it's the truth. Shit, we being real. I mean, I can't be too discouraged by any idea of how the fuck do I word this? The idea of Javon Evans being world champion immediately going into any type of year could be possible. But the only thing about it is if you book him a certain way to try to go against our former black champions and everything, Javon Evans, his first a little bit of time and everything, don't let him get on the mic. Don't let him have too much fun out there and everything because you know what? They're gonna compare him to The Rock.
And that's like always like the shitty part I think about wrestling is they're going to always compare you to somebody else, no matter how unique of a personality and how much of a like you being yourself. They're always going to compare you to this person or that person or that person. It's like I'm not even trying to be like them. You're just comparing us to compare us, even though we have no type of similarities.
Exactly. If he showed that he got a funny side to him, they can compare him to Big E. Never really too serious, but when he was in the ring, he had some good moments.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to push him as this powerhouse or somebody that can get down with the best and the bad of him and everything, because then you compare him to Bobby Lashley. Like, yes, you compare all of these guys to each other and everything when it comes to which black superstar was the best world champion. We only got 3 of them motherfuckers. Wait, no, 4. I'm sorry, I forgot Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
And Kofi Kingston, I guess, could fall on the funny side too because Vince McMahon saw the goddamn pancakes in the belt, and he said, "Nigga, we putting the end of this tonight." He said, "Nigga, did I just see a flapjack come from behind that?" Brock. And all you heard was Brock Lesnar music, and then he said, "I got you, Vince. Let me go get this." That you can't push Javon Evans to a certain limit without understanding exactly where he can take it. And if he can take it to the moon and run with it,
and that's what I say. Like the huge thing is like we really haven't seen Javon with the title, so like we really don't know what he has to offer yet.
Exactly. And even then, if he's still young as hell. So if you give him a world champion and if you give him a world title and he breaks the motherfucking record and everything, and he lose it, and you don't see him in a world title picture again until he's 24, think about that. That's only 3 years. So he can float around in the mid card and get in those main title moments and get those opportunities and shit like that. And then when you finally ready to give it to him, put the world title back on him. Then he's 24. Javon Evans will still what, like 16 more years on top of that,
if not more. I would say if not fucking more. I mean, with this stem cell shit, it seems like it's revitalizing niggas' career. So fucking could be 30. The fuck?
That's all I'm saying when it comes down to it. We got the opportunity to see a real true black inspiration for a lot of kids. And if y'all ain't gonna give him that moment, I mean, cool, he can go get that shit in AEW, but it's like, you know what that's gonna come with. That's gonna come with a whole lot of people shitting on y'all brand and y'all product for dropping one hell of a star. One guy that could be mainstream tomorrow.
And I really hope WWE don't ever fucking drop the ball with Javon because I'm like, they got money. I mean, they got money in their fucking hands.
With him, got some real cash fucking money.
Like Louis got fucking money in his hands.
But you know what? WWE gonna do what they gonna do.
All we can do is just watch as viewers and give our opinions and our
things back from that brief intermission.
Mm-hmm.
But Vaughn, finish up with your top 5 list, and then we gonna move on to something else I really wanted to talk to y'all about.
That was really it. That was just him going to elimination chamber. I ain't really had no other side moments because it's really the same stuff every week. I'm just happy to see that brother. Remember we were talking about him last week. I'm just happy to see that brother get main event exposure, and you going to the elimination chamber. Shit, that's up there going to the Royal Rumble. You went from the Royal Rumble to the elimination chamber. Shit, man.
Like at this point, he's guaranteeing himself a spot on that WrestleMania card. This is what he does is more of the question.
And then the Money in the Bank.
Oh, he's for sure. WWE would be stupid as fuck to not put him in Money in the Bank this year. I'm sorry, he don't gotta win that bitch.
Right.
But you will be dumb to not put him in that hole and just let him just go stupid.
Okay. Well, then if that's the case, I want to mention something that I found online as well. Just because when I saw it, I thought to myself, maybe y'all might have a little different opinion on it. Let me see where it is. Okay. So Vince Russo did an interview with Maven, and Maven asked Vince Russo, was Triple H a good guy or like an asshole or some shit, basically. And Vince Russo said the Triple H that he knew was a nice guy. He didn't notice Triple H out after Stephanie McMahon and everything like that. And I want to ask y'all, like, is there a certain point to where Vince Russo low key talks about wanting to go back to WWE or like just like start like glazing WWE at some certain point? Because it's like he give me such weird feelings about how he feels about WWE and Triple H. Sometimes I feel like he likes the product and what's going on, and then some moments I think like he just thinks of WWE as like a shithole. And I don't say that to say like, oh, he shit on WWE and like glazes AEW, but like it be some moments where you be like nigga, did they do something to you other than what you saying? Because you got like a grievance against these niggas like badly.
I mean, it could have been something more against Vince rather than like the company itself or Triple H. And he kind of just honestly be speaking from his just experience, like saying because a lot of people do say like Triple H did change after he got with Stephanie and kind of got more leverage in the company in that kind of aspects. So I think
Okay.
he was just kind of more saying like when I knew him before he was with her, he was a nice guy, but like I can't speak of how he is today because I don't know him. But like I'm just giving
Mm-hmm.
what I saw and what I experienced when I was, a writer for the company. I think Vince
Yeah.
Russo, his standpoint is more so he's just gonna. It's kind of like Dave Meltzer, where it's like I'm not gonna play a bias to either side. I'm just gonna call it as it is or how I view it. People are gonna take their analysis. People are gonna think what they think, but I'm just gonna call it how I fucking see it. And like people are going to be upset with that. Some people are going to agree with that, but like that's just that's just the thing about giving opinions. Like not everybody's going to agree with what you say.
Exactly. And
No,
then
I agree.
Vaughn, I'm gonna ask you this before I get to one of the final things I want to do today.
Mm-hmm.
Vaughn, what do you think is WWE's who do you think WWE's top 5 males could be in the next 5 years?
Obi Femi, J- Javon Edmonds. If you book Powerhouse Hobbs the right way, you can put him.
He 40. I don't think he gonna be holding anything or be a top guy at 45,
I mean, I
especially with
don't
all the
know, cause
muscles.
look, I
Yeah,
don't know though,
they
cause
look like
look, we got
40. They
see,
mid 40 year olds.
but I ain't gonna lie though, we got CM Punk as the world heavyweight champion at what 48. So
True,
it can
true,
happen.
true. But CM Punk and Hobbs is two different body types.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I would say, but WWE does like booking bigger guys, so I mean this could just be another
I don't know.
powerhouse for them. So I mean, only
He,
time will tell.
I don't know. I just say it because even he himself said like he ain't gonna be in WWE for too long. Like he got some shit set up for himself to where he can work backstage and really help out the business elsewhere as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I
mhm.
just don't know understand why some guys just be like, "I'm gonna come to WWE, but I'm gonna help the other guys." Like, nigga, I fuck with you for doing that, but Abyss never having a match in WWE, it don't sit right
I
with
mean, I think some people like they wrestle and they kind of see that backstage and they kind of get more interested in that and know like I'm on a timer as it already is with this wrestling shit. So why not start kind of building me a path for when I do retire? Because I don't get they don't get no weekly paychecks for they don't get a retirement fund for wrestling and shit.
me.
So I think it's just kind of more him being like I know I only have a limited time. I know that it's a chance I don't get treated as a top talent. So I'm gonna make the best of it, that I
Mhm.
can, and then I'm gonna just, fall into the backside, and I'm gonna help.
I'm out, niggas. That's all you got to do. I ain't saying you got to be the best nigga in the world, But damn,
Uh,
at least act like you want to be there.
Right? No, I do agree with that. He definitely should have kind of kept that more close to his chest. He should have just like outed that in the interview. But like, no, I 100% agree with you. He definitely should have. That's some shit you say like when you're getting closer to retirement. Like we didn't hear about AJ talking about him wanting to work backstage anytime last year. We started hearing about that after he retired or closer to when his final match was happening.
All I'm saying is when some niggas are having their moments, let them have their moments. Let them be. But it's a certain point to where it's like, damn, I don't want to hear about what you're gonna do out after and everything. I get that. I know, like when it's these interview moments, you ain't got no choice but to answer these questions when they being asked to you, and especially while you're in
mm,
WWE, it's like you want to be honest. Like shit, we talk about how we want to get to know wrestlers more as people and everything. So therefore, they give us those interviews and they give us those moments and everything. But I don't want to hear about it just being WWE and everything, especially because there's other ways to go find talent. Like it doesn't have to just be in WWE. I know this is the place that you dream to get into, and if you can work forever at that place and just get your money from there as well while helping build up the other guys of the future, that's cool. But I don't want to hear about that part and everything because now that's a time limit to okay, how long is this? Until we see you in that mode, in that
mm.
form. Because now I got to think to
And it
myself,
kind of
in
goes back
3,
to like the whole conversation about kayfabe and why kayfabe needs to be a thing that exists. Because like yes, power. I'm not saying niggas shouldn't be able to do interviews. Niggas should be able to do interviews. But I want you to keep kayfabe, or I want you to explicitly tell me I'm not doing this interview as my character. I'm doing this under my real name. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to talk about my career, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm talking about my character that I portray in the ring. Because once again, you start blurring those lines, and then you make it harder for fans to understand. Okay, is this his character talking, or is this really him talking?
Right.
because Powerhouse Hobbs look like he can go for 6 more years. But if he's already talking about what he's going to do in a few years once he's done with
It makes
wrestling,
you really wonder how long is he gonna wrestle in this company before he hangs up his fucking shoes.
what's a few
Mm.
years?
Is that 2 years, 3 years? Is that 2.5? Like you can't put that out there without expecting people to do like what we're doing and overanalyze it because once again, when as a pro wrestler, we understand as fans, you're not going to be able to wrestle your entire fucking life.
You
At
can't
some
tell Ric
point,
Flair
you're
that.
going to have to stop wrestling to prioritize your well-being.
And then who's your other two?
I throw in Braun Breaker,
Definitely.
and I'm gonna throw in this one. It's gonna surprise a lot of people, but I could see Austin Theory being the next man.
Nah,
He's
I
he,
I can see
he
it. I don't know how.
They have to figure out the right character for him, and that's the issue. They cannot get a good character for Austin. He has the potential. He's a great fucking wrestler. They don't
mm-hmm.
have a direction for his character, and that's the problem. If they had any type of character development or structure for his character, for sure. I mean, there's a reason they had him go over on Cena at WrestleMania. They
That's
see the potential. They just don't know how to get him to connect with the crowd.
and that's the
I
thing. They had him so goofy for so long. This arrogant asshole. They
Like, all
don't
right,
like,
we try to throw him into this very serious, I'm this ultra pissed off guy. Nobody taking your ass serious. Especially when you're
and
still
then
getting pinned on a weekly basis.
they didn't even write him off like the right way. The motherfucker just disappeared. You know,
And
like
that's the
how
problem
like all
WWE
right,
has is just disappearing people without a proper explanation. And then
like
they just show back up.
like they could have had him turning. They could have had him tweet like
Grayson
just
Waller.
flipping out.
What the fuck is Grayson
They,
Waller doing? Kicking it with the fucking New Day? What the fuck does he have to do with the New Day?
see,
Here's the thing
see,
though.
hear me out.
Grayson
This what
Waller
they should
is
have
the
did.
masked man. You ain't seen that
See, here,
social media
No,
and
I've seen
everything
that.
back
No,
post?
he is. He is the masked man. But it begs the question because it's like, are they gonna keep him the masked man or are they gonna pull a swerve on us?
Very
see,
true.
this was
It could just be them doing that.
see this is what they should have did with Austin Theory character. All right. you know how he was always entitled and that arrogant asshole. So look, they should have. This what they should have did the storyline. They should have had him every week. He crashing out about something. This motherfucker having a mental breakdown. This motherfucker every week he got the clippers. He cutting his hair, just going crazy. And then they could have it like security took his ass to a mental psych ward, and his
I
ass
don't
been
think
gone for.
WWE gonna get too deep into them type of storylines.
They should. I mean,
I ain't gonna lie to you. That low key sound like that low key dude's like it sound
It
like a
sounds
storyline
interesting,
you
but
can
WWE's
build.
so PG focused and so sponsor focused that they don't want to step on the toes and do some shit. Like I get where Jesse's coming from. They don't want to go on a touchy subject like that with talking about mental health and shit because they know if they do the storyline wrong, they're gonna have these sponsors that are paying them buku bucks, being like, "Nah, we're not gonna fuck with y'all. We're not fucking with this product. We're not liking the message you're putting." So, like, yeah, that would be a really dope storyline. I just don't think WWE, like Jesse said, would ever do something like that, just because it's such a sensitive topic for some people.
Even if you put it on Netflix, I feel like some people are gonna say, "Oh, we not watching WWE." They gonna cancel subscriptions, and Netflix gonna have to eat a lot of motherfucking losses.
And Netflix already going through enough with this whole Paramount Warner Bros. Buyout shit, so
And if
they they don't want that headache.
and if they not buying Netflix, they sure as hell not buying ESPN. So them
and see,
motherfucking subscriptions start falling. Y'all
and
gonna be
see that's
fucked.
and see that's the problem with all the sponsors because hell, we already had one wrestler that was dealing with mental health as a character that was schizophrenic. Mankind, shit, that man was 4 different people.
True. But you see, WWE don't ask Mankind to come back. They ask Mick Foley to come back. Just Mick
Yeah.
Foley. It'd be a cold day in hell before you see Cactus Jack back on television screens. Do
Right.
love, maybe. But them two other niggas, they gotta stay at home. Mick Foley is already too much his damn self.
Hey, wasn't Kane like a crazy patient? Like after the big red machine, like when he first took his mask off, wasn't he another crazy mofo setting people on fire?
Yeah, he set Jim Ross on fire. And then
Yeah,
electrocuted Shane McMahon's nuts.
Then they ran that
and
storyline
and,
with
and,
Triple
and,
H.
and I get what y'all said, but that idea is way beyond. That's some damn heels have eyes type of energy. But you do so like
Very.
with Austin Theory, where you make this sucker lose his mind and you write him off like he went somewhere to get his mind right and he came back as this dark character. Like they trying to make him. They could do like where's Austin Theory? Like they can do segments like, oh man, I checked with Austin Theory. He's isolated from the world. He don't know what's going on.
Remember when they used
That
to
is
do like
true.
the little interactive like guessing of like, oh, who's like? Remember when they did that shit with Bray Wyatt and just like how invested all the fans got whenever they would show those on like SmackDown or Raw, and people would be like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
shit, the bunny, like, what does that mean? What does this mean? Like they're breaking it down because they were invested. They wanted to know what is this payoff, and we got Bray Wyatt ended up coming back. Like they need to do more shit like that, more like intriguing, like more kind of you getting the crowd invested into something rather than just kind of dropping it on our heads.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So now I agree with Vaughn. Like they definitely should have done some better thing because they kind of did just rip Austin Theory off TV, shave his head. They kind of just throw him with visions.
They
True.
could have, like I
But
said,
now
they should have just built it up.
But now you got a chance to make something right with him. The only question is it going to be three other men by the name of Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns? Would they be all in the mix of this shit? Because those five that you said make sense. The only question is Triple H going to have three other guys in the way of that? So does he move your five down and then they become 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Or does
Mm,
WWE just say, hey, it's time for y'all to take a back seat? These young niggas popping.
I
I
say
mean, you see
WWE
Roman
is
kind of
time.
already doing that.
Yeah,
Roman kind of
it,
make that like very explicit. Like when I take time off, I'm expecting these young cats to come in and fill those roles.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Roman and those three guys not. I'm talking about the creative
No,
mind.
I know what you mean, and I think that's what like he was referring to. It's not. He knows it's not the wrestlers. He knows the wrestlers are doing everything in their power, but he's saying creatively they aren't giving these wrestlers anything interesting that the fans care about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, it does worry me. It's like, yeah, those should definitely be 5 future world champions. Will they all get world championship runs though? Is the question.
I
Because I
say
would hope so.
Austin Theory, he should have won more than the United States belt because it's like I said, you took down the GOAT at WrestleMania. All right, you normally when you
They
take
definitely
down a
wasted that. I still
legend,
can't believe they wasted the money in the bank with him like they did.
when, like you take down an icon like John Cena at WrestleMania, and you don't do nothing with his character, like you would think like, okay, yeah, he was the United States champion at the time. But you know, back in the day when wrestling, when you get a big push, when you take somebody down as big as that, they normally prepare you for that next step.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't with Austin Theory. They just kept him in the goofy position. It's just like I said, like, hey, going back to this, it's just like with our truth. Like, you pushed him right, but you kept him as a goofy position. It's like now to the point, it's like when you see him, it's like, oh, I don't take his character serious.
It's like you were the cause for
And with
that. That
Austin,
fans will never take him serious because you guys kept him in that role for so long. And that's what like scares me with like people like Finn Balor. It's like I know Finn Balor, he's chilling. He don't really care. But it's also like we know how good Finn Balor is, and it just sucks to kind of see him just there,
Just in the crowd.
just there, not doing anything crazy. So like I'm really excited to see this match Saturday with Punk. Like obviously, I'm going into it expecting Punk to retain, but you never know with fucking wrestling. But I doubt they do some shit like that.
hey, I hope Finn come out as the demon.
Fuck CM Punk up low key.
Dude, I have been telling my fucking coworker, like, I was like, I don't get why they refuse to bring back the demon. I just don't fucking get it.
Hey,
Triple H, you know how to
speaking
book.
of Finn Balor, you remember when Stephanie wanted to do the LGBT for Finn Balor? That storyline?
Huh?
So back in the day, she was gonna have Finn Balor as like doing the LBG thing. This is like 2018. When you remember when Finn Balor used to have the flag on this thing, Stephanie's gonna push him for him as the movement. But you had a person like Derry Young on the roster. That could have been that.
Oh. Why do I vaguely remember that now? That you mentioned
Yeah,
that.
you don't
Didn't he
remember that?
get
That was
in
like
line to do
this is
some
around
shit
like
about that?
2017 where wrestling was like it was good, but it was well no 2017 wrestling was trash. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so unrememberable. So that's why like we was talking about Finn Balor. I was thinking about all the bullshit they did with his character. You took away the demon, then you tried to like 2017 make him do the pro LGB T, which I don't mind, but you was like you got somebody that's on the roster that actually came out gay. Y'all could have let do that.
Yeah, you definitely had another advocate on the roster that could have did that type of stuff.
So it's like I'm just going back like all the times Finn been kind of fucked over in wrestling.
Mm. And then to get on with our final segment,
There it is,
transition.
a huge 619.
That's that transition I've been doing for the last couple of episodes. If y'all been watching, ladies and gentlemen, the final question. It is a question that I asked Bray when we first started this podcast. But Vaughn, I'm gonna ask you this: would you rather lose the Royal Rumble to Hornswoggle or the main event of WrestleMania to Eugene?
Holy shit. They both embarrassing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
First
Which
of
L you
all,
taking?
that I ain't gonna lie. See, this is tricky because I ain't gonna lie. So this is where I'll be questioning WWE at. So y'all gonna book me in the main event with damn Eugene? I could be
Yeah.
good enough to fight somebody top level.
Nope. They said Eugene, take it or leave it. And you
Damn.
gotta eat the pig.
Clean,
Fuck. I'll probably have
clean,
to
middle
take
of the
that
ring.
L at the Royal Rumble. I probably gonna have to do that because now all the time you're gonna be back at that next WrestleMania. Sometimes you only get that one WrestleMania moment.
And you don't want that
True.
to be your one moment.
Yeah.
That
And
is
it's
fucked up.
like,
This is supposed to
damn.
be your last moment.
You imagine your one and only WrestleMania appearance, you getting pinned by fucking Eugene.
You spent $6,000 on ring gear. Your
And I
whole
ain't gonna
family
lie,
out in attendance. Your wife had to let you. Nah.
and
I'm
I ain't gonna
I
lie,
would say no.
WWE,
I'm sorry. I'm doing a shoot. I'm not losing. I'm pinning him.
Oh yeah, they gonna. I'm gonna have
They're
to
gonna have to. They're gonna have to fire me afterwards. I'm not taking that L.
You're not in front of my kids.
No. And if I do take that L, I'm crashing out and I'm beating the fuck out of him with the chair.
He holding the world title, doing spit bubbles. Oh yeah, I'm crashing out.
yeah, I
I'd
ain't gonna
have to
lie,
start a
yeah,
riot in that motherfucker.
yeah. At least the Royal Rumble was more acceptable because you see a lot of goofy, funny stuff in the Royal Rumble anyway. It's a lot
That's what
of
I'm saying.
people
Like
in
that's
it.
just you can enter the Royal Rumble next year.
See,
But WrestleMania, not not too many wrestlers go back to WrestleMania the next year. You might see them at one WrestleMania, and yeah, never see them again.
true. I mean, who the fuck?
So
But
How
the
many
only
people have
time
we seen
Shelton
now?
Benjamin was at WrestleMania was literally when they only had the Money in the Bank there.
I think so.
I would say I don't think Shelton Benjamin was ever on a WrestleMania card outside of that.
yeah, and
Damn.
then on the main event, hell no, hell no. People fight to get a even an opening card at WrestleMania, but I'm main event. I lose to fucking Eugene. No disrespect, Eugene, if you're watching this, but fuck no. I'm sorry.
Boy, that's some funny ass shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. But that's some. Before we get up out of here, actually, I want to mention one more thing. I don't know if some of y'all think that we just go sit there and leave them comments untouched when y'all talking negative. Know that I am in those comments 24/7. So the moment you think you're gonna type some shit, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna delete it and block you. I'm gonna say that shit, and then I'm gonna wait for you to respond. So therefore, talk your shit. Just know I'm gonna be in them comments telling y'all ass about yourselves too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jay the Kid. That's Purple Gray. We got our boy Von the Don joining us as well. And this has been another episode for Sewell Podcast. Von, you said you wanted to add something real quick before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I know you said something about the negative comments. You know what? I want to say this. Thank y'all for the negative comments because at the end of the day, that's showing that y'all supporting us, and that's a good thing. Because if you're not doing good, you will not have haters. Plain and simple.
Exactly.
Yeah, facts.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for asking.
We out.